Joining us now to analyze today's headlines is Rahul Mahajan, sociologist and author of Full Spectrum Dominance, U.S. Power in Iran and in Iraq and Beyond. Hi, Rahul.
Hi, Sonali.
Elections in the UK yesterday yielded very surprising results, with incumbent Prime Minister David Cameron's Conservative Party winning a narrow majority in Parliament in a race that was expected to be far closer than it turned out. The other major party in Britain, the Labour Party, suffered a stinging loss, as did the traditional third party, the Liberal Democrats. The Scottish Nationalist Party, whose main agenda is separation from Britain, won 58 out of 59 seats, catapulting them into a strong position alongside the staunchly anti-separation Conservatives. Because Cameron's party has won at least 325 out of 650 seats, an overall majority, it does not need to form a coalition. The leader of the anti-immigrant UK Independence Party, Nigel Farage, lost his seat, and his party overall won only a single seat despite widespread media coverage. Rahul, what do you make of these results so far off from predictions? Even 538.com's Nate Silver didn't see this much of a Conservative Party victory coming.
Well, it's really difficult to know what to make of it, and what one should interpret these results in the context that Britain's first past the post system means that very small swings in actual vote share can lead to very substantial swings in the number of seats. So, for example, although the SNP basically took seats away from Labour, it's quite possible that the entire Scottish independence campaign slightly damaged Labour's brand at a national level, which caused it to lose votes in heavily contested areas. I think it's also the case that this shows that either austerity is not biting England quite as hard as all the news reports seem to suggest, or that it is biting hard, and it's simply that Labour is not seen as an alternative. I think we also have to add in the lower than expected results for UKIP, which helped the Tories certainly, because they would have been taking votes away from them. Overall, it's very hard to know at this point exactly what to make of those results.
And we will do a follow-up on this story. The U.S. Senate just passed a near-unanimous yes vote on a bill to oversee any nuclear agreement that the Obama administration makes with Iran. Obama has said he would sign the bill if it passed the House too, which it is likely to. If the bill passes, it will allow Congress to reject a future deal with Iran. However, Obama would likely veto their objection, which would mean lawmakers would have to return with a veto-proof majority to override him anyway. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said the Iran Nuclear Agreement Review Act offers the best chance for our constituents through the Congress they elect to weigh in on the White House negotiations with Iran, and make no mistake, they need to have that opportunity. Rahul, how bizarre is this bill? Is this just another bald-faced attempt to sabotage one of the few constructive foreign policies of the Obama administration?
Well, this is a very weird bill, and I would count this vote as a huge victory for Tom Cotton, despite the fact that he was the one person in the Senate opposing it. He's somehow managed to gain a great deal of mileage out of an assertion of what ought to be Congress's fairly well-known right, Senate's well-known right to perform advise and consent on treaties. So it's a little bit unclear how much further this legislation is supposed to take that notion, but the fact that it won near unanimous support suggests two things. One is that it's hard for Democrats to go against the overall notion of congressional oversight of presidential foreign policy decisions, and the other is that in fact there are quite a few Democrats who are not as prepared as Obama to go out on this much of a limb with Iran. So overall, a victory for the the extreme conservatives.
And finally, the U.S. Department of Labor released its monthly jobs report today, showing that the month of April saw 223,000 jobs added to the economy. That brings the official unemployment rate to 5.4%. The unofficial rate is, of course, higher. What have not improved are wage gains, with a paltry 0.1% increase in hourly pay, leading to the New York Times to conclude that, quote, any meaningful wage gains for most workers will have to wait. Meanwhile, President Obama visited the headquarters of Nike Corporation today in Portland, Oregon, as part of his aggressive campaigning for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a controversial trade deal. Nike claims that passage of the TPP would mean 10,000 new U.S. jobs at Nike, Despite the fact that the trade deal would mean a lowering of barriers for major corporations to move manufacturing overseas, somehow the TPP, according to Obama and Nike, will keep jobs in the U.S. Of the 1 million workers that Nike currently employs directly and indirectly, only 26,000 are based in the U.S. Rahul, do you buy the Nike promise to create 10,000 U.S. jobs? And we're just lost our connection with Rahul, and we're going to try to get him back on to answer that question. Rahul, all right, we're going to try to bring him back on. Do bear with us. We're having some problems with our connection to Rahul Mahajan. And so the story, oh, there he is. Do you buy this promise?
Well, I don't buy promises from corporations in general, but I don't think that the effect on jobs in the United States is really going to be very substantial or should be the primary focus. The TPP's biggest problems are actually the IPR provisions, intellectual property rights, which may actually harm abilities to deal with public health in other countries, and the investor-state dispute resolution, which will be another sort of codification of corporate rights over democratic processes.
Rahul, thanks as always for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
See you then.
Rahul Mahajan is a sociologist and author of Full Spectrum Dominance, U.S. Power in Iraq and Beyond. This is Uprising. We'll be right back.